breaches. Yeah. Mona dodges contempt papers. The AG opposes Domi-level leave injunction. And I miss church, says Nana.
Okay.
Now, the finder, 11,443 to enjoy clean water as President commissions Yape water system. Infectious Disease Center celebrating patriotism and dedication. A great article you must read. Women lead men by 571,000 in voter registration according to the new numbers from the EC.
Wow.
Justice for murdered 90-year-old woman crucial. One Ghana movement. And it takes compassionate leadership to successfully manage COVID-19. This is upon Chroma. And exports to trigger swift recovery by end of 2020 BOG.
The Daily Statesman, DKM customers to get 100% payment, latest by next week.
Wow.
And Akufo-Addo commissions water project up north.
The Ghanaian Times, President begins 3-day working visit to 3 northern regions. COVID-19, Ghana's active case count drops from 3,349 to 3,307. Confirmed cases hit over 32,000. Northern region benefits from nationwide disinfection exercise. An ongoing voter registration exercise. EC registers over 12 million in 4 weeks.
Okay, well, DKM customers might be getting their money, but on the Business and Financial Times, 19 billion Ghana cedis still unretrieved from defunct financial institutions. That's from the Bank of Ghana Governor, Dr. Addison. Now is the time to focus all attention on Wassa Mines, Golden Star, and economic uncertainty keeps policy rates at 14.5%. Also, that Galamsey story, Galamsey operators refusing to leave rubber plantation.
And from Galamsey, we go to land guards because the new Crusading Guide captures a story like that on the front page. Land guards on rampage, they illegally take over Ghana lands with impunity. Now, on the trade front, Greater Accra Guta cuts ties with National Guta.
Hey.
Now operates as Traders Advocacy Group Ghana.
Forgive.
Tag.
Tension mounts at Mansour Dubia as Benvico takes over Casmil mining concession at Tonto Krom, and Anidoho rates Akufo-Addo, calls him man of integrity. McDan has also broken the ground for the construction of an ultramodern share nut factory.
ABC News, Akufo-Addo proactive in COVID-19 fight. This from his information minister, Joe Opong Nkrumah. National Chief Imam to address the public on the lynching of the 90-year-old woman in the Savannah region. And voters register, alleged Atuforson's tyrants arrested. Lynching of 90-year-old woman, why free SHS is imperative.
Let me take you online, citinewsroom.com, and the stories are many. Choosing Nana Opoku Agyemang as running mate is best for Ghana, according to Mahama. Also, customers of collapsed financial institutions will be paid within 1 year if I'm elected. And then, of course, Ken Oforiatta says 100 billion Ghana Cares program to be financed through FDI and PPPs. Those are the stories on citinewsroom.com. If you go to City Business News, there are stories there. Bank of Ghana maintains policy rate at 14.5% for what that's worth. Also, low property rate not employed to protect the rich. This is Finance Minister. And Operation Feed Yourself. Work progresses on City Farms. You know, we have City Farms.
Yeah,
I'll tell you about that. Now, if you go to myjournal9.com, next NDC administration will pay customers their monies locked up in financial institutions. This is Mahama. Also, reject attempts to disenfranchise you, Opoku Agyemang, to Ghanaians. And unity, not personal glory, will win us December election. This is General Mosquito. If you go to Star News, we'll provide fair, equal opportunity for Ghanaians, according to Jane Nana. She also says it's time for change. And then Akufo-Addo says, Mahama says Akufo-Addo has no real solutions for Ghanaians. Ghana News Agency starts or leads with the 14.5% MPC rate. Meanwhile, President inaugurates water systems for 5 communities in central Gonja as he begins a 3-day tour of the northern regions on today. And then, of course, COVID-19 restrictions on transportation lifted. The other thing that caught my attention globally was that the Republicans have introduced, wait for it, a $1 trillion pandemic recovery plan. $1 trillion. So in Chile, they'll call it OPPPPPPs. $1 trillion. Hey, Anyway, so let's start with the story that you have, Kukui, in the graphic, and then I'll give you some angles in the online versions.
All right. Okay. So we've got the NDC vice presidential
Yes,
running mate. We've
maybe
got
you wanna start with that?
We'll start with that, and then we'll touch on the EC as well.
Uh-huh.
Join NDC to rebuild Ghana. That's Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman. She was outdoored yesterday
Yes.
as the newest political baby, outdooring.
Outdooring.
Right. The running mate of the National Democratic Congress. Outdooring.
Yeah.
That's when people are introduced to us. So
Okay.
in her political life, I should say, as a full-fledged politician. We've known her as a technocrat, but now she's taking a further step. So the running mate of the National Democratic Congress for the 2020 general election, Professor Nana Jane Opoku Ajiman, yesterday made a rallying call to Ghanaians to turn to the NDC to help build a country with equal opportunities for everyone. Quote, I extend a hand to everyone, no matter how disappointed you have become, no matter the depth of your frustration, your anger, your despair. Come, let's chart a path for our country, built on the values of integrity, merit, trust, responsible citizenship, caring, putting others first, simple, polite language. She was officially introduced by former President Mahama. And she spoke quite a lot, at length. She said that the NDC wants to serve the country. They won't be intimidated. She appealed to women, saying that this was a new focal point for girls and women. She doesn't underrate the responsibilities and expectations that come with her selection. She spoke to the youth. Well, I know we'll go into that. In
Let me
more
just give you
detail
some
later,
angles to the story. Mahama says choosing Jane Nana as my running mate best for Ghana. Former President Mahama says the NDC has made the best choice for Ghana in selecting Professor Jane Nana Opoku Ajiman, who he describes as more than qualified to be vice president. We made the best choice for Ghana. We will work with the women of Ghana. We will work for the youth of Ghana. And we'll work for the people of Ghana. Now, let's give you other headlines from that event. So, for example, he says, Mahama says customers of collapsed financial institutions will be paid within 1 year if he's elected. And according to the story, the former president says the payments will be made within the first year in his office should he be elected president in December 2020. While delivering his address during a ceremony to outdoor his running mate, Mr. Mahama said his government will implement a payment plan to pay these customers who have been left aggrieved for over a year now. Another story coming from that event is also something on corruption. He says he will introduce something called Operation Sting. You know Sting? Sting is a musician, British. And now he says as part of efforts to end the corruption in Ghana, former President and flagbearer of NDC, John Mahama, says he will introduce a new action plan to tackle the menace of corruption if given the nod in December 2020. We will, as part of an Integrity for Development Action Plan, launch Operation Sting, he announced on Monday, July 27. Now, I thought you could link the BNFT story about how much has not been retrieved from banks to the payments Mr. Mahama says he will make, because the banks themselves, a lot of their assets have not been recovered, and this is what the governor is talking about
exactly
in the BNFT.
So of the 21 billion, remember we've heard this figure quite a few times now,
Yes.
that was used to ensure depositors' funds that they are protected after the Bank of Ghana introduced reforms which led to the collapse of some financial institutions. Just about 1/10 of that amount, or about 2 billion Ghana cedis, has been recovered so far, leaving an astronomical 19 billion Ghana cedis yet to
Whoa.
be retrieved.
Wow.
Answering a question from the BNFT during the governor's virtual press conference in Accra about the status of assets retrieved so far to compensate for the enormous amount spent on the exercise, Dr. Addison said the process of doing so has become quite cumbersome. Hence, only 2 billion Ghana cedis, less than 10% of the money, has been recovered. He is confident, though, that with time, a substantial amount will be covered from shareholders and directors of the defunct institutions. He says that the data they have on recoveries is about 2 billion. The receivers are in court with the shareholders and directors trying to receive assets of these defunct institutions, and it takes time because the wheels of justice in this part of the world grind slowly.
Let me give you two stories from the finance minister, then Kojo will come in with Galamsey. We can't kill the spirit of Ghanaians. Uforiata justifies water electricity relief. This is on citinewsroom.com. Ghana's finance minister has justified government's decision to extend water and electricity reliefs and other tax reliefs to Ghanaians despite the country's revenue shortfalls. An interview on Point of View, Mr. Uforiata debunks suggestions that government is patronizing Ghanaians with the reliefs in an attempt to win votes for December 2020. He explained that government's decision to go ahead with the electricity tariff reliefs for lifeline customers for both water and other tax reliefs was to ease the burden on Ghanaians amid the devastating pandemic. Then there's another story here. Low property rate not a ploy to protect the rich. Again, from the same interview, Finance Minister debunked the suggestion that government has not considered the property tax regime as a critical area for revenue generation as a deliberate strategy to protect the middle class. Property rates, otherwise known as property tax, paid on immovable property, is collected annually under the auspices of the Ghana Revenue Authority, but the rates range from 0.5 to 3%, and it appears there is not enough work done. In fact, when I asked him in the interview how much had been collected in the 3.5 years of his government from property tax, he said the figure was negligible. He couldn't even mention the figure. All right, now we've done a bit of economics.
Yes, and a bit of politics. But let me give you something to put all the political stories in a better context. So NDC, NPP, they are running in the 2020 elections. Who are the voters? 12.3 million people have registered so far to vote in the 2020 elections. Now, out of this, 6.1 million are female, 5.5 are male.
Wow.
And the difference is 571,000. So the females outnumber the males by over 500,000. Now, the other interesting facts from the data, 46,237 persons are persons living with disability. 480,000 are 18 years old.
Wow.
419,000 are 19 years old. And
Wow.
these are in the first-time voters category. So it's almost 1 million people captured as first-time voters. And they make up 7.7%.
They are below 20.
Yeah. And they make up 7.7% of those registered so far.
It means they were born after the year 2000.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. they
Can you
were.
imagine? So they didn't see Kufuor's election.
Yeah.
They don't understand Rawlings, and they don't know some of the things we talk about
Yes,
here.
his
And they are
son
almost
is
1 million.
They were not born when Obrafo also released his first song.
That's a big conversation.
But you know,
Now,
you mentioned, he said what?
still, give me
18?
more numbers.
Yeah.
So 480,000 are 18 years old. 419,000 are 19 years old. And they make up 7.7% of the numbers.
Wow.
Now, generally, those within the 18 to 20 year band have participated actively in this registration exercise. Now, she also says that a total of 12.3 million people have been issued with voters' ID cards as of Sunday, July 26th.
And we still have a few.
Yes,
days
and the
to
figure
go.
represents 82.5% of the Commission's target of 15 million.
Wow.
So it looks as if
But
we're
the,
gonna
with the
hit
young
it.
people, remember, the EC actually went to schools to register a lot of them. So that probably also contributes to the swell in numbers.
Now, the regional breakdown as well. The Ashanti region, the Greater Accra region leads with 2.6 million registrants. Ashanti is 2.08 million. Eastern follows with 1.08, with Central region 1.07. And the region with the least number is Northeast region with 186,000 voters.
There's a very good thing the EC is doing with the periodic publication of the numbers.
yeah.
They're also doing something good in the graphic.
Oh,
front page.
yes, they are. For the first time in the country's electoral history, aspirants in this year's presidential and parliamentary elections will not physically pick nomination forms
Wow.
from the offices of the Electoral Commission. This is because the Commission has decided to open the filing of nominations using its online portal. The chairperson of the EC, Mrs. Jean Mensah, who announced this at the Let the Citizens Know series held in Accra yesterday, said the move was part of the safety protocols for curbing the spread of the coronavirus disease. Quote, the nomination forms will be made available on our website, so candidates no longer have to come to pick up their forms at our offices before filing. They simply have to visit our websites and download them. She said the guidelines for nominations will be available on the EC's website for political parties and candidates to access. She didn't say when the nominations will be open, except that they will communicate the official date for the filing of nominations shortly.
To make it even better, people can fill the forms on the website without having to download and print anything. Now,
Take me to the mining
let's
story.
go to Galamsey. What was supposed to be a dawn swoop by members of the Operation Vanguard to flush out illegal members from the concession of the Ghana Rubber Estate Limited in the Hunter West municipality in the Western region turned out to be a minefield for the military police contingent.
Okay.
The military personnel have been withdrawn from Operation Vanguard, but a small number of them are currently protecting the Ghana Rubber Estates. These are soldiers who joined forces with the police trying to flush out illegal miners. Unfortunately, the members of the team fled the area and went back to their bases in Sekondi Takoradi without firing a single shot or make any attempt to effect arrest when they realized that they had been overwhelmed by the number of illegal miners who were ready to defend their business interests with their blood. The Operation Vanguard team was acting upon a story published by the Chronicle last Thursday, highlighting how the illegal miners had invaded the concession, destroying the plantation. Now, the head of Operation Vanguard, Superintendent Douglas Kuma, told the Chronicle in an interview that they did not run away and that it was a tactical pullout. According to him, they were going to re-strategize and come back later to sack the miners. Now, the miners on their part told the reporter that they were prepared for any eventuality. According to them, they were working on the legitimate concession, which was allotted to them by the Hunter West Municipal Security Council.
We have that report.
Yeah.
We'll air it on Citi. Koki, I'm coming back to you.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the DKM story. So
Yes.
this is the front page of the Daily Statesman. DKM customers to get 100% payment, and the receiver, Eric Nananipa, is pictured here. Let's look at the story. Customers of defunct DKM Diamond Microfinance will, latest by next week, receive 100% payment of all their locked up funds, Daily Statement's sources have revealed. This follows an agreement reached between the Minister of Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Ernest Addison. The agreement comes at the back of a request for funds put before the government by the receiver of the collapsed savings and loans and microfinance institutions, Eric Nana Nipa. According to the paper, the Ministry of Finance last week signed a memo to issue an additional bond of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to settle the claims. That was received by the Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG, and is expected to be bought by the Bank of Ghana for immediate cash to be released to the consumers. So 1.6 billion Ghana cedis needed to settle deposited claims of the resolved microfinance companies, savings and loans companies, finance house companies, and DKM Microfinance.
A lot of numbers there. Let
A
me
lot
come
of
to
numbers.
Akufo-Addo on the lynching of the 19-year-old woman. This story is by Maxwell Suk on citynewsroom.com. It says President Akufo-Addo has urged the police to quickly bring closure to the investigation into the lynching of a 19-year-old woman at Kafaba in the Savannah region. He said the killing has disfigured the face of our nation. Now, Madam Ekuya Dente had been accused of witchcraft by a soothsayer who's wanted by the police alongside two others. I hope there's a quick response of the police to lead to the rapid administration of justice in this unfortunate matter. Now, speaking at the same event, this story now is on GNA. The president has launched a 6 million CD facility undertaken by the Community Water and Sanitation Agency as part of the additional financing Sustainable Rural Water and Sanitation Project, with 4 hybrid pumps, 28 standpipes, a treatment plant and solar farm for 5 communities, which would extend potable water to 18,000 residents in the central Gonja districts of Savannah. So Savannah region is in the news. President was speaking there yesterday.
Bernard, let me take you to another mining story.
Okay.
We are being told that there's tension at Mansour Dubia.
Okay.
Because a mining company without a license is taking over the concession of another mining company. And within this concession as well, there's Galamsey ongoing.
Lord.
And that all sorts of powerful people are involved and people are unhappy. So, Minister of Lands, the Galamsey fight has not been won. Just get your team to reassess what is going on in the country.
Especially now that they are taking over farmland.
Yes.
But speaking of farms, Operation Feed Yourself, work progresses on city farms. Stories on citybusinessnews.com. As part of our commitment towards the Operation Feed Yourself project, Citi FM and Citi TV have begun work on a 100-acre farm in the eastern region. The initiative was launched last year, would encourage people to consider agribusiness as a viable livelihood. The stations are known not only for leading conversations of national interest, but also taking practical steps to lead by example. And then the story gives some background. Well, now in Operation Feed Yourself, we're getting involved in the cultivation of some selected crops, including maize. The farm is located in the Kwapim north of the eastern region, secured with the support of the MCE, Dennis Abuaji. We started with the cultivation of maize on a 20-acre land. Glowfed Fertilizer is helping us, who are partnering. So the next phase will involve increasing our yields with the same amount of inputs. Farm manager Peredu Nyami says the journey has been quite challenging, and he spoke about how the farm is expected to grow. Koku, you should join us next week.
Look, I am certainly joining. I was watching Vivian Kailoko and the team were out there yesterday showing us exactly what's been going on, and it is impressive. And it actually reminds me of my childhood.
Oh, were you in Ghana during Operation Feed Yourself?
No. I'm saying...
No, just asking.
No, as in farming.
We all did farming.
Before
all
Raja
of us.
became all built
All
up like
of
it
us
is now,
were
we
farming.
had some farmland there.
We had farms.
And we had corn, we had rice.
Yes. It
And
was
like
really
you said,
good.
it was really good. Even in the backyard, we had... My mom still has, I think she got avocado,
people still farm?
orange.
Okay.
Yeah.
She's still that at home. And
So this weekend we are going to the farm.
we're going to the farm, Kojo.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm looking
I
forward
have
to
time
that.
for a final story, which
Yes,
I
have
thought you
one.
would give us. Kojo.
The Guta story.
Guta has split.
Yes, the Greater Accra Guta says We are going.
No, so
So
it's now,
they've cut ties with the National Guta.
so it's now Guta and Nuta or
Yeah,
what?
tag.
Greater Traders Association Group Ghana.
Tag.
TAG.
TAGG.
So Guta will not tag along.
Yes. Traders Association Advocacy Group Ghana.
Wow.
So that's their new.
TH, whilst they are at it, the US Senate Republicans have proposed spending an additional $1 trillion to address the economic damage caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Now, they already have spent $2.4 trillion on virus relief measures, sending billions of dollars in aid to industries and businesses, but economists have warned since the spring that more would be necessary. Charlie, and we are 100 billion surface over 3 years.
Billion, we can't even,
God help us. That was the newspaper review. There's business news next. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.